Hey there, Kirby fans. So I get questions online quite a bit about how did you get that metal so polished to a mirror shine? Because as we all know, aluminum has a tendency to oxidize or oxide there. And you also get some deep scratches. Aluminum tends to be a very soft metal. So you bump it into something and before you know it, you've got a scratch. So if you have any of these scratches, basically you're going to have to go in and sand them all out. And some of them, as you can see, get quite deep. They're not just surface scratches. So what I usually do is I have what you would call an orbital sander by Makita. It kind of spins around on the bottom while vibrating at the same time. And I use what's called hook and latch, basically kind of like a Velcro. Stick it on there. And what I usually use is a 600 grit. And I find that works well for taking out some of the scratches, and the longer you use it, the softer it ends up getting, because you end up wearing some of the aluminum into the sandpaper, and the longer you go and the less pressure you use, it actually ends up probably being more like an 800 or even 1000 grit. If I need to, can always go back and sand it by hand with some other sandpaper. I believe this is like a 2000 grit. So yeah, if you want that mirror shine, this is what you're going to have to do. So, and my apologies, my bench here is an absolute disaster. I'm going to be cleaning up my workbench later, and this is kind of a wonky setup that I have here today for this demo. So this is a power buffing wheel. I got this at Harbor Freight, probably for about 50 bucks. It has a wheel on either side. If you've never done anything like this before, be very careful and maybe watch and see some demos on how to properly use these. Generally speaking, the tighter this is here and the more stitch work there is in between all these different layers, the more firm it's going to be. This happens to be a denim material. They have just also cotton. This is a denim one here. It's not stitched together as closely, so it's a looser denim. This is another, as you can see, cotton pad that I have. Cotton's going to be a little softer than denim, going to get you maybe more of a high gloss shine. But for this purpose right now, we're going to use the looser denim. Some people will, after doing their sanding, take a black polishing compound. As the wheel's going around, you rub this on there. Then you would use the metal and take the metal and rub it up against the buffing wheel with that black compound on there. When that's done, you wipe that off and then go to a different buffing wheel and use the what they call brown or red compound on there, which is a little softer, going to get you more of a gloss. I've tried that out. I have kind of mixed feelings on those. I find for what I'm doing here and the finishes that I'm going after, the Mother's Mag and aluminum polish works just fine. So what I'm going to do today is I've got this dirt meter, beautiful thing here that I found online, and as you can see, quite oxidized, and there's some scratching here. Sand a little bit of this out, and what I wanted to show you is any of this pitting or little streaks or imperfections in there, if you can still see it while you're sanding it down, you'll see it when you buff it out. It's just kind of like if you've ever done any painting work, when you paint and then you sand down the paint before buffing the paint out, any imperfections that you see in the metal, you're going to see in it once you finish buffing it out. And I also did leave a couple little pitted areas right here, just so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about once I buff it out. So I'm going to have the buffing wheel on here, be a little noisy. Hopefully too much debris won't get on the camera. Once again, pardon my messy work area. That's probably going to get like a D- for safety. So if you're on earbuds, you might want to turn the volume down. And there we go. there you go, real time, like 30 seconds here. Always put a little bit more. When you're working with a power tool, be very careful and understand that if the power tool grabs onto any sharp edges, it's probably going to go clunk and pull it right out of your hand. So you want to be very careful with that. Always be aware of the angles of things. You always want to have the wheel spinning away from sharp edges, not toward it, because then it'll catch and pull it back. So I'm going to go this direction here just so you can see exactly what it's doing. And that is pretty glossy. Let me turn that off here and take a moment to wipe off any of the polish residue. And there you go. You can see the license plates in the background that are on the wall. But yeah, that's definitely a mirror shine. There's still some micro scratching in here, as you can see. But those little pitted marks that I was telling you about that I didn't sand out, you can still see those. So let me see here if I can get more of this out. I'm actually going to use the brown polishing compound. Wouldn't normally mix these two things together, but we'll see how it goes. Little edge right there, I want to make sure I don't catch that because that'll pull it right in. So I'd be very wary of your angles here when you're doing this. There's what it looks like here. I'm going to turn the buffing wheel off here and remove any of the residue of the polish. See if we got some of those scratches out, micro scratches. Yeah, it does appear that we got a lot of those micro scratches out. I'm using that final layer of the brown polishing compound. And what I also do is I actually have some Meguiar's Ultimate Polish, and if I want that extra shine on there, I can actually take a little bit of that with a very soft terry cloth towel, microfiber towel, after I've cleaned off all the the residue from all the crap that's on there, and put the polish on, and it'll look great. So hope this answers some of the questions for you guys. I know it takes a long time with all this metal work, but it's our passion, and it's kind of like our classic cars. We love them. So hope this answers your questions, and happy Kirbying.